She stumbled back, clutching her side, her white shirt blooming red as her blonde curls caught the sunlight. Her knees buckled beside the black limousine, but she didn't fall. Not yet. Across from her, a white cop in a tight white shirt and plain blue trousers stood with his gun still raised, his finger trembling on the trigger. His face was pale, confused, lips parted in slow realization, but the barrel never dropped. Before we continue, if you are watching our video for the first time, please bless and support us by hitting that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more, share to friends and loved ones who love respect and justice no matter the cost. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story goes. And to our unique constant viewers, our high-esteemed subscribers, and our lovely new viewers, thank you for being part of our growth. We are humbled and honored. She was still standing. Somehow. Her name was Candace Holloway, the only daughter of the first black female federal judge in the state, Judge Marlene Holloway. At just 24, Candace had inherited her mother's confidence, poise, and a sharp tongue that could slice through the thickest of lies. But now, blood leaked through her shirt as if justice itself had been pierced. Candace had done nothing wrong. The cop, Officer Bradley Kaine, had gotten a dispatch about a carjacking. A black woman with blonde hair had allegedly stolen a vehicle and was armed. The suspect had fled into an upscale neighborhood. Within minutes, Kaine spotted Candace leaning on a limousine, waiting for her driver to return with her purse. No visible weapon. No aggressive movement. Just skin and hair that didn't seem to match. And that was all it took. One bullet. Right under her ribs. I told you not to move. Kaine barked now, though the shot had already been fired. His voice cracked, full of a cocktail of anger and denial. Candace looked him in the eye. She didn't scream. She didn't curse. Her lips moved. My mom's the judge. Marlene Holloway. You shot her daughter. Kaine's expression flickered. But the gun remained. The limousine door opened then. Out stepped a tall man in a charcoal suit with a badge in hand. Put it down, Kaine. Captain, she matched the description. Put it down. The captain, Rogers, stepped in front of Candace, shielding her. Her knees gave in at last. He caught her before she hit the ground. We need a medic now. Rogers bellowed into his radio. But the drama didn't end there. 20 minutes earlier, Candace had left her mother's courtroom downtown after a high-profile ruling. Protesters and media swarmed the courthouse steps. Her driver, Paul, had picked her up in the family limousine, windows tinted black and the scent of lavender inside calming her nerves. She needed a break. So they took a detour, an early lunch in Oakview Hills, one of the richest and whitest neighborhoods around. The kind of place where porch cameras never blink and suspicion follows you like perfume if your skin doesn't match the bricks. Paul had parked in front of Valerio's cafe and run inside to grab Candace's favorite spinach wrap and oat smoothie. She waited outside, resting by the limo. 3 streets away, Kaine had gotten the call. He was already high-strung. 2 weeks ago, his body cam footage had been called into question. An internal review loomed. He needed to prove something to someone. Maybe to himself. Maybe to a system that had made him feel small. And so, when he turned the corner and saw a young black woman with blonde hair standing by a sleek vehicle, his mind didn't hesitate. It snapped to assumptions. Fast. Back in the present, paramedics arrived. She's stable but needs the ER. Let's move. The media was already there. Live feeds. Phones. Hashtags. Journalists hounded the scene. But the biggest twist wasn't the shooting. It was what happened after. Kaine was handcuffed. On the spot. Captain Rogers had seen the body cam footage immediately. Candace had complied, hands visible, no threat. The shooting was unjustified. Worse, racist. I'm not covering for you, Rogers said. Not this time. As Kaine was escorted away, face red, he spat bitterly. She could have been anyone. But it wasn't over. At the hospital, Candace survived surgery. She woke to see her mother, stern, composed, her judge face hiding the rage beneath. Marlene Holloway made 2 calls that day, one to the governor, another to the U.S. Attorney's office. Within hours, the entire city shifted. 3 days later, Judge Holloway held a press conference outside City Hall. Flanked by civil rights attorneys, police reform advocates, and citizens of every color, she took the mic. My daughter nearly died because of a pattern, because of perception over evidence, skin over facts. This isn't about my family alone. It's about every parent who fears their child won't make it home because of the badge, the bias, or both. Kaine's face was now everywhere. But something no one expected surfaced next: his old social media posts, subtle racist memes, coded language, alt-right affiliations. The department claimed ignorance. The community didn't buy it. Peaceful protests exploded across the state. Schools held town halls. Even high schoolers marched. But the twist, the biggest twist, came when Candace herself returned to the public eye. Just 12 days post-surgery, she appeared live on a national talk show. Pale, weak, but with fire in her eyes. "I want to speak to Officer Kaine," she said. "Not with anger, but with truth. You saw my skin and forgot my humanity. You thought I didn't belong in front of that limousine. You thought my blonde hair was a lie. You thought I was a threat because I stood still. But I am alive. And I will not let your fear silence our reality." Candace launched a non-profit days later, Unarmed Truth, advocating for independent review boards and body cam transparency in every city. Donations poured in. 1 year later, legislation named the Candace Act passed. It required all police departments statewide to undergo bias training annually, release body cam footage within 24 hours of use of force incidents, and suspend officers involved in unjustified shootings pending civilian board review. The irony: Kaine pled guilty. In court, he sat before the very judge he had indirectly wronged, Marlene Holloway. He looked smaller now. Diminished. No badge. No weapon. Just a man who made a fatal assumption. "I didn't mean to," he said. "I thought." "You thought wrong," Judge Holloway replied. "And you almost buried my child because of it." He was sentenced to 6 years. Some said it wasn't enough. But change had already begun. Candace became a national voice. Her speeches were played in classrooms. Her foundation partnered with law schools. And in time, she didn't let the scar on her side define her. It reminded her that silence was never the answer. Moral of the story: assumptions kill. Silence enables. But voices, especially the ones nearly silenced, can turn the tide. Justice doesn't wear a color. It wears courage. This story was proudly brought to you by Elliot Stories. Catch you on the next one.